Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of two active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. I'm going to go ahead and put my weekly planner together for June 10th. I have my flowers sticker book, and I do have a section marked off so that it is easy to find it. I want to go with these brighter florals, and there is quite a selection. I have used them before, but I really like the brightness of them, and they just make me feel like we're coming into summertime. There is a variety of clear and paper stickers, and when it comes to the florals, I will probably either stick with the paper or the clear. I have a hard time mixing the two. Then I thought I'd use the smaller numbers from the Project Life stamp set. I also have the Heidi Swap Agenda June stamps, and I thought I might use some of the smaller stamps about creativity. I also grabbed the background stamp about creativity. I don't know if I'll use it, but I wanted to go ahead and pull it since it was in that creativity theme. I also want to grab some washi tape. So let's open back up to the stickers so that I can try and match the mood and feel. I first go to the little cup that's on my desk that holds my favorites. And then I went over to my wall and I picked out this hot pink and white striped. I also thought maybe some of the black and white would work. And that just sits on my desk because I ran out of room on the wall. And let's go ahead and just jump right in to making my spreads for the week. This first page is my faith page, and I have a prayer list here and room to write daily verses. I have not been great about that, but I do want to leave space for that in case I do have the time and capacity to do that. And I loved this sticker that says, "Let love grow." I thought it was perfect for the faith page. And now I am struggling with this washi tape because it has been so long since I've used it and it's sticking to itself. My plan, though, is to put a little bit of this down just to kind of fill up the space a little bit more and bring some more visual weight to that area of the page. So I go ahead and I get it down, and so long as I don't lose my Live Love Posh washi tape cutter on my desk during the process, this is usually what I use to trim the ends of my washi tape. So I get that down, and then I realize that this tape has yellowed quite a bit, and I don't really like how it looks, so I do go ahead and take it up. It is very sticky though, and I end up ripping the paper a little bit. So I definitely want to cover it up with something. I'm just not sure what. So I do grab this hot pink and white washi tape instead. I'm thinking it might be a little bright, but I wanted to use what I had at my fingertips, and that other black and white washi tape was also a little yellowed, so I didn't pull that. So I do just pick this pink and white. I try not to overthink my spreads too much. And then I decide to go ahead and put a double strip down so that it looks more like wide washi tape. And again, I'm just trying to add some visual weight up here. So I will overlap the sticker onto this washi, and I really like how it pulls that together, but I didn't like that straight edge on the left side, so I am going to go back in and rough it up a little bit. Then I'm going to change my focus to the bottom of the page. I am going to cover up the two trackers this week. I have not been great about tracking pretty much anything. I am working through the launch program with Mel Robbins, and it's just taking a lot longer and a lot more of my time than I had expected. So I'm trying to minimize the other tasks that I do on a daily basis to make sure I leave plenty of time for that. But my plan is to run washi tape across where that tracker is. However, because washi tape is so transparent, I would have been able to see the text through the washi tape. So that's why I grabbed my whiteout tape to cover that up before I put the washi tape down. And now I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to use the paper flowers or the clear flowers. And I definitely have an easier time using clear stickers than paper stickers. When I'm trying to overlap like this, because of the white margin around the paper stickers. So I really wanted to tuck some florals in around this washi tape, and I just couldn't get the right effect when I had the white margin around the edge. I am going to cut a lot of these stickers, and there may be a little bit of sticker waste, but I know that I won't go back to use these blocks of florals or the frames of florals. So if there's another way that I can use these and actually use them, then I'm going to. And I thought I did a good job at cutting a straight line with my scissors, but I didn't. So once I get that laid down on the washi tape, I do use my slice tool just to make it straight. And because the sticker is overlapping the washi, it's really easy to pull up that extra part of the sticker. Then I'll go back in and grab one of these frame stickers. And I think I made this harder than I needed to. I probably should have just used each long side of the frame and let that little bit in between the long sides go. But instead, I'm trying to use as much of this sticker as I possibly can. So I'm trying to go through and trim around an individual leaf so that if I want to use the other parts of that sticker somewhere else, I still can. But I'm just using the same process that I was before, where I find where I want to lay the sticker down, and then I use the washi tape edge as my straight edge and use my slice tool to cut it right along the washi tape. And because then it is a straight line on the excess, I am able to go back in and layer that in and make it look like it's actually a straight line and it didn't have that weird curve to it from the frame. So I felt like the right side was a little bit too heavy compared to the left side, so I do want to add a little bit more of the floral stickers over on the left side. I am going to use my slice tool heavily on this since I want to cut around the flowers and try to conserve the rest of that sticker. So as you can see, the slice tool is very good at getting right where you want it to go, and it's very easy to cut through these stickers. And unfortunately, I didn't think to put some wax paper behind it, so I did rip the page again, but I will fix that here in a minute. I thought about putting a box down, but then decided that I didn't want a random box, and I don't have a ton of boxes that don't have the silver foil on them, so I wanted to try to conserve them. So instead, I grabbed these quote stickers that I was using on my monthly spread, and I just picked the one that says, I begin each day with a thankful heart. To cover that up, I do try to tuck it around the florals in a way where I don't cover them up. If I had wanted to tuck them in, I would have lifted the floral back up, tucked the sticker in, and then lay the floral back down. I am going to skip the tasks page for now and jump to the weekly section. These pages are from Heart Breathings, and I did take the HB90 course and got this planner spread. I have tweaked it a little bit, and I'm thinking about tweaking it a little bit more so that I don't have to go in and write this in every week. But currently, I am putting a line at the top, so I leave a little bit of space if it's a holiday or if there's something big going on that day that I need to note. And then I go through and I write down 6 through 10 down the side of each page so that I can properly time block. It actually goes from 5:30 to 10:30, but I didn't want to write in 5:30 and 10:30. So there's just one white space at the top and one white space at the bottom. And then I go ahead and draw in a line at the bottom so that that bottom section can be used for other tasks. Sometimes it's home and making all the plans tasks. This week it's just going to be making all the plans. I need to get ahead so that when we go on vacation, there are still some videos to watch. But that is my goal for the week, is just to try and get ahead. June is not going to be super crazy with videos. I did set my goal for the month to only be 2 videos a week and not 3 videos a week, so I did pare that down some. I am going to take this time to decorate the sidebar a little bit. I only need two boxes in my sidebar. I need one for meals and one for errands. And occasionally I do use that third box for other things, but I am going to cover it up this week because we have plenty going on without me adding a bunch more things for me to do. But the sticker in the sidebar says, "Messy bun, getting stuff done." But I was hoping that it would be applicable to this week. And after doing decorative spreads the last 2 weeks, I really need to get back into focusing on the function in my planner. So I need to make sure that I leave plenty of space in the areas that I need to in order to make my lists and set myself up for success for the week. So I grabbed another one of these frame stickers and I am going to try to cut it so that it makes two L's, and I thought I would frame out each side of the bottom section of the pages. I definitely like how this first side turned out. I am a little concerned about how much space it is taking, so I decided to cut off that green leaf at the top just so that I have more room to write down my making all the plans tasks for the day. Since I work at home on Mondays, usually I am able to stop work at a more reasonable hour and get over to my passion tasks. So I definitely want to leave the space to make my lists on this particular day. Saturday and Sunday are also very heavy with working on my passion project, so I want to try to leave as much space on those days as well. I did contemplate moving that border frame down below the boxes, but I wanted to balance out the left side, so I did put it in the Saturday and Sunday boxes. I probably should have scooched it down just a little bit, but I was not originally planning on putting washi tape at the bottom of the page. If I had had that planned out, I would have tucked those stickers down just a little bit further on the right side so they matched a little bit better on the left side. But one of my favorite ways to use washi tape is on the outside of the page. So below your boxes, on the sides of the boxes, or in the middle of the page where the spine is, because unless you are someone that likes to write in the margins, it will not take up any of the functional space of the page. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of the quotes on this stamp sheet, but I definitely wanted to use the word June to stamp up at the top of the page. I like to know what week I'm on, especially if I end up having multiple weeks in my planner. I try to only keep 1 week at a time, but sometimes I'm not done with the week before when I put the next week in. So I get June stamped in, and then I go to grab the small numbers and realize that they are all combined into one. It's more for like a tracker or something, so that's not going to work. I do go ahead and grab the larger number stamps instead, and I'm just going to stamp them above the days of the week. And each time I use a stamp before I put it back, I will clean it off with a baby wipe. So I'm not crazy about wiping off my stamps, but I don't love them stained. So I do just use a baby wipe them off before I put them back on the sheet. I do like the way these larger numbers turned out, but the reason why I was leaning towards the smaller numbers is so that I didn't have to put each number on individually and worry about the spacing between the numbers. So I feel like 10, 11, 13 looks good, 14 looks good, but 12, I feel like there's too much space between the 1 and the 2. It's not a huge deal, but again, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to use those smaller number stickers. Not stickers, but stamps, just so that I didn't have to worry about the spacing. Normally, this is where I put in lines for my meal planning, and I really didn't want to put lines in this week. Didn't feel like drawing them and getting the stencil out or using my ruler or anything like that. So I did remember that I had a stamp set that had a little box with lines in it. So this is from Jelly Bean Soup. I'm not sure if they even exist anymore, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to use this lined stamp set. I get the stamp on a block and I make sure it's going to fit in that area. And then I just use some scrap paper to mask off the areas where I don't want to stamp. So I put some on the right side of that box and I grab some washi tape that I probably won't use normally and I tape it down. So I do that on the right side, on the left side, on the bottom. And then I also decided that I wanted to mask off the top. So I just grabbed a post-it note for that. So let's get this stamp inked up and ready to go. So two things. I am very klutzy, so I am very glad that I had that scrap paper down. And I should have also put my stamp on the stamp block straight since the stamp block does have lines on it. I don't really use the lines, but it is kind of an optical illusion when they aren't lined up. So it would have been much easier if I had just gone with the lines. And I am putting quite a bit of pressure on this. I want to make sure that I get good lines across the whole area. So that's why I did really put some pressure down on the stamp. And now it's time for the big reveal. Ta-da! I think it turned out pretty good. Maybe a little tiny bit crooked, but I do like how it ended up. And it's just a little bit different than using the stencil that I use most weeks. And I'm just going to use my Kelly Creates pen to write in dinner plans up in that little tiny area between the month and the list for the menu. So a little different than most weeks, but I like that it's still functional. So let's go ahead and finish off the sidebar while we are over here. I think I'm just going to put a few box stickers down in that bottom left box for any errands or phone calls that I need to make. I don't have any that are on the top of my mind at this moment, but I'm sure that I will come up with some things. I was able to make all of my returns on my way home from work on Friday, so I'm very, very happy about that. So I'm not exactly sure what needs to go here yet, but I'm sure I'll think of something. And now I'm going to drop in my calendar items for the week. I don't have a ton, which is wonderful since I have so many outside work things to do. I do have a couple meetings on Monday, a couple meetings on Tuesday, and a couple meetings on Wednesday. And thankfully, right now, Thursday and Friday are pretty open. My son does start soccer this week, so Monday and Wednesday he has what they're calling open nets. They're just open training sessions, not coaching sessions. So happy that he is in some sort of routine though. Friday, the kids both have dentist appointments in the morning, and then we have a graduation party on Friday evening. But other than that, our weekend is pretty much free, which I am, again, excited about the free time. A lot of times I do go through and color code the entire day for the whole week, but I'm not going to do that since things have been so fluid. And as you can see, my daughter has nothing on the calendar this week. I am sure that will change, and I'm not sure if that means it will change for her or if it will change for both of us because she still needs a chauffeur, and I am that person. I have mentioned recently that my son has had his license for about a month now, and although it's great that he can drive himself places, we have not been able to get a third car yet. So if my son has a car and I'm also gone, then my husband is stuck here without a car, and it has been a situation a couple times where he's really needed a car and hasn't been able to get to where he needs to be. So that it will hopefully start to get resolved this week as well. So all that to say, I am only writing in the things that I know are going to happen this week, and then I'll leave the specific planning to each day of the week. So on days where I don't go into work, I definitely put a daily plan together. On days that I do go into the office, I don't always get that daily schedule put together since I'm never sure what time I'll get home. And by the time I get home, I'm pretty tired. So I don't like to put a ton of things on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I am in the office. And just a reminder to everyone that Sunday is Father's Day. Now I will pop back over to the tasks pages And there is a little bit of ghosting from the stamps, so I thought that I would cover it up with some washi tape. I'm not going to run it all the way across the top, although I could have, and just put another box over on the right side for the week number. I do like to track the weeks because I feel like when I think of June, I'm kind of freaked out about how far we are through the year. But when I see that it is week 24, knowing that we're not quite halfway through the year yet brings me a little bit of peace, which may make no sense at all, but it is a numbers game for me. So I do like seeing that week number. And I still am struggling to figure out what to put in this box area. So I decided to cover up some of it with this squarish floral as well as another one of the quote stickers. And I just thought that all of the quotes were very fitting this week. This one just says a well-planned life. I also decided to put in some more washi tape in this box just for some more weight over here. There's also not a lot of room to put anything down at the bottom of this page because it is highly functional, so I want to make sure that I don't mess with that as much as this top section. So once I get the quote sticker down, I don't really like that white space that it left over in that right corner, so I do put a box sticker there. I'm also going to grab another one of the quote stickers that are left from my monthly spreads. And after verifying that it wouldn't quite fit into that box if I moved it around a little bit, I just overlapped it. And it says, "Today I will fill my mind with positive thoughts." And now I'm ready to get into the meat of my week. The first thing I'm going to do is run some washi tape across the bottom of the page and bring in some more of those florals like I did on my faith page. And I may regret in the future using all the clusters of flowers from this particular grouping of stickers instead of those individual ones, but I'm just liking how the page is coming together with these bigger groupings of floral stickers. So I'll go ahead and pull this little floral grouping off. And these are probably my favorites out of all of them. They're very easy to just cut in half and use on each side of the washi tape. I am trying to be a little bit smarter and use some wax paper for this. I do want to mention that the slice tool really does not take much pressure at all to cut through these clear stickers. Some of my other cutting tools, I struggle cutting through the clear stickers for some reason, but the slice tool, it cut through very easily, so easily that I also cut through the wax paper and the paper below, which it turned out fine, but I really didn't need to press as hard as I did. And here I'm trying to decide if I want to run the florals all the way across this washi tape or if I want to just keep groups in the corner. And I think I am going to just do groupings in the corner. I also wanted to make sure that I was balancing it with the right side. So I do take a quick look at that before I make a final decision. But I am going to cut it in half just slightly different. Instead of cutting it straight across the widest part, I do cut it at an angle so that it's just slightly different than the way I cut them previously, and the groupings can look a little fuller. I definitely like how full that cluster or grouping of florals looks on each side, so I'm glad that I went with this option. I'm also going to grab another quote, and I'm going to use one of the bigger ones because I don't need a ton of room to write in tasks, but this one just says, "I celebrate my wins loudly." And I will be tucking it behind the florals just so that it looks like it's incorporated into the page and not an afterthought. And these stickers are still plenty sticky to just stick them back down, but I will give them a good rub so that they adhere well and they don't have any air bubbles or anything in them. And then I'm going to take my washi tape and run it across the top. And I have been doing this for the past few weeks just because I like being able to write a header of what these task groups are and then be able to list the actual tasks down below. I do like to leave the white space in between the columns in this area. In the bottom, I ran it across the entire bottom, but at the top, I like to split each column up because they really are three separate goals, and that way I can differentiate them visually. So I think I have most of the decorative parts of my spread together. Let's clean off the desk so that I can actually write in my tasks for the week. But looking at the spread, I am going to enjoy having it open on my desk. I did realize that I hadn't put the cover back on my ink pad, so I do have a little random ink splotches, but again, that's okay. And my three goals for this quarter have been making all the plans, personal, and home. So I do have a larger, like written out goal for each of these sections in my HB90 notebook, but when I go to write the task down, I just write what area they're focusing on. So for my making all the plans, I will write in the videos that I want to get mostly done, if not completely done this week. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I want to either get done or get a good start on. And then I'm trying to do better about posting on Instagram. It is fun when I actually get to them, so hopefully I can just get into a better routine. And then comments on videos and posts. For home, it's really about getting a car for my husband and hopefully widening the driveway. For personal, I am trying to focus more on my morning routine instead of actually working out. I just feel like if I got that base in place, that other things would start falling into place as well. So I feel pretty good about my task lists. Now I'm going to move over to my time blocking for my making all the plans tasks. I'm just going to rewrite all of the tasks that I wrote in the making all the plans section. I am going to add one more, and that is stats for May because I have not gotten to them. And then I will estimate the time that I think each one of these tasks is going to take. And most of the time, my videos take about 6 task blocks, which is 3 hours. And then I will add all of the estimated time up, and I think it'll be about 50 hours, which will be a lot for 1 week since I do work full time. But I'm going to try to get it in this week so that I can get a little bit ahead and have a little bit of leeway next week as I try and wrap everything up before we leave for vacation. And then the final thing that I want to try to do is map each of these tasks to a specific day of the week. Monday, I will put pretty heavy tasks since I work from home and I find it easier than normal to switch from my work to my passion project for the day. It is usually fairly easy on Monday. The middle of the week, it gets more difficult to step away. So I am going to record a video and script a bunch of videos and then hit the comments if there are any on my videos. Tuesday, I'm going to record 2 videos, which is fairly easy, and edit a video, which can take a while depending on what video it is, and then hopefully put up an Instagram post, which I will come back in and write that in shortly. Wednesday, again, will be heavier. I have 2 videos that I want to edit and 1 that I want to record, and then hopefully come back and hit my comments again. Thursday, I am planning on recording 2 videos. This will be challenging to fit these 2 things in on Thursday, but my boss is off that day, so I'm hoping that I can actually get out of the office at a reasonable time and get home to get these things done. Friday, I'm going to leave open so that I can just worry about spending time with my kids. I did take the day off. And then Saturday and Sunday, I will fill in the rest of the tasks as well as catch up on anything that I didn't get done throughout the week. The other thing that I like about doing it this way is It makes my week seem manageable when I can write out my tasks like this and have an overview of what's going on. I can always shift things around if I need to, but I do feel like I can get this accomplished this week. So I like having that mindset going into the week that I can do it. And there is some buffer time built in, so if one thing falls off the rails, I can just move it to a different time. So fingers crossed this works out for me and I can get back on track with my videos and recording schedule. The last thing that I want to do before I put this in my planner is estimate how many time blocks that I think that I have for this week. And I'm just going to kind of guess that I have about 6 on Monday, 6 on Tuesday, 6 on Wednesday, 6 on Thursday, 3 on Friday, and then the other time I'm going to try to split up over the weekend. So 6 on Saturday and 11 on Sunday. That brings me to a total of 44 planned task blocks. And I'm a little bit short of that 50 estimate, but I'm hoping that since I am chunking some of the video production this week, that it will go a little bit faster than it normally does. If not, hopefully I can chunk out a little bit more time on Saturday. But this is my weekly packet this week. Thanks for coming along. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!